Hi guys, I just wanted to go over some major industries and or businesses that have been affected by COVID-19, the pandemic. All right guys, so the first businesses I'm going to mention on this list is conference. Now conferences is a part of the event planning industry or the events industry, and that really got hammered. For those that know me know that I do the International Women's Conference in New York every year. However, this year we had to bypass because we had no options because of the rule of social distancing. The next on my list, I have education. Now, many educational institutions have been abruptly forced to switch to online platform, and some just did not have a system in place for online learning. On top of that, there were some institutions that basically had to reduce their tuition because it's now online, because the students, when they signed up for traditional, and to keep the students going they had to reduce their price, which basically impact the income or the revenue that they would have coming in. The next we have is the airline and the travel industry. Flights weren't able to fly to other countries for the most part. A lot of countries basically closed their borders. For example, I was in Jamaica at the time visiting when the borders closed, so I literally had to wait before I was able to come back to the United States. And even with that, they weren't able to fill the flight because we still had to do social distancing on the plane. The next industry I'm going to mention is the entertainment industry. Now, within the entertainment industry, you think about the nightclubs, the restaurants, and I put churches there as well, because it's a form of gathering. And then you have the movie theaters, the mosque, many different things. And they were not able to do gathering in a sense, so people were not able to come in and to pay for these services. All right, so behind that, number 5, I have tourism and travel. So although the airline industry kind of go into that, but more specifically the hotels. And the hotels got hit because people were not going to go to hotels. They're not traveling. One, because they don't have the income to spend. Number 2, they are not able to fly into a country or another destination to spend time. And also Airbnb, where that industry was affected, or that business, people with Airbnb was affected because they were not able to run the Airbnb because there were no one coming in or booking. And the locals were very skeptical to go to an Airbnb. So there's some people that I know that have Airbnb and basically had to give it up because they don't know when it's going to recoup, right? So they're just going to regular rentals versus Airbnb. Now, the next on my list, I just want to say too that the U.S. Airlines asked for over $50 billion in federal assistance due to the dramatic decrease in passenger traffic. So, 50 million, I'm sorry, not 50 million, 50 billion, 50 billion. So that's a lot of moolah, all right? So the next you have professional sports, from the NBA, the NHL, the XFL, so many different type of sports. There were no ticket sales. People weren't going out. The players weren't playing. There was nothing to watch. So they lost a lot there. The next on my list, we have the shipping industry. Now, were people shipping? Yes. However, more local than international. So, for instance, the factories were closed in China, and not just China, in India, and these different places that made products. They weren't able to ship. And so the International Chamber of Shipping said the pandemic has cost the worldwide industry around 350 million per week, guys, per week. So imagine how many weeks that was. You just multiply it, that they lost. All right. So next, oil and gas. Oil and gas. As people continue to work from home and avoid traveling, the demand for oil and gas went down. There's no need to fill up their cars. Where are they going? Some don't have a job. And if you know, the unemployment rate is extremely high at the moment, right? So number 8. Number 9, the retail industry. Guys, people are just shopping for essentials, right? So there's no one really going into a store to buy clothing because there's nowhere to go. So they got hammered. And I know that a lot of people in order for them to make money, they start selling what is considered essentials and doing that online. But the retail industry definitely got hammered. Now, I put food services on this list. Now, hear me out. Food services, when I talk about, I'm talking about the restaurants, right? So the restaurants are not open to entertain you and bring you in to eat because people can't afford it at the moment. People are watching their budget. People are saving. People don't want to spend. So more people are going to the supermarket to buy food to cook. However, they're not spending on going to restaurants, and at the restaurants you'll have to social distance, and that was closed down. A lot of government closed down the restaurants. All right, guys, so those are 10 on my list. I hope they were useful to you, and thank you so much for listening. All right, bye.